welcome back for joining us here on the Nikki Clarke Show live at the Paintbox Bistro, 555 Dundas Street East. And we have another amazing guest on the show. She is a life coach and motivational speaker. Please welcome Amy Stockwell to the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You look
Thanks for
lovely.
having me. You look very nice too.
Thank you so much. I kind of blend in with
I was going to say it's very
the
nautical.
turquoise. Yeah, it is a nautical vibe. I love it. So, Amy, you are an inspirational coach. You've been working with a number of people and helping them to be unstuck in areas personally and professionally. But sometimes when we embark on these journeys, it comes from a place where we've experienced a little bit of challenges. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your background leading up to Coach Amy?
Absolutely. Basically, to condense it as quickly as possible, I was a troubled teen, got into run-ins with the law, a lot of bad stuff, and I had a rocky path a lot of my life, so that led me to social work, and there was part of me that I wanted to help. I just wanted to give back in a way that I could help others, because I looked at my experience and I thought, if I can overcome this, if I can take a bad situation in my life and turn it around, surely I can help others do the same thing.
Right.
So that led me into social work, and I worked in mental health. I still do. I worked with women experiencing domestic violence, as that was part of my childhood as well. So being able to relate on a human level, maybe not exactly the exact same experiences, but being able to relate to another person and understand them really, I believe, helps connect people.
Yes.
And through that connection, there's like an unconditional positive regard for that person where change can happen.
Absolutely, and people want to hear from people who have maybe not the same experiences, but there's some commonality in the past and how you want to reconnect in the future. So, tell me the role of a coach.
Yeah, so the role of a coach for me is to guide the client, because we all have the answers within ourselves for the dilemmas that we're facing. They're all within us. Sometimes, though, our experiences can cloud our ability to find answers. I used to ask myself, is this all that there is? Why me? Why aren't I enough? Why bother? And from that experience, from asking those questions, I was able to help others, if they're asking themselves those questions, to just pull them out, to find the answers for themselves, because we all have what we need to be great, to be successful, to live our dream. Sometimes we just get stuck, and I focus on self-esteem, because I really believe it's at the core of everything that we do, from how we make decisions, how we make our relationships last, or if they don't last.
Sure.
It all comes back to that, and so I just try to focus on that with clients and engage, and it works out. It comes together.
So you don't provide the answers; you just help to unlock the answers that are within
that's
people.
an excellent way to put it. Unlock the answers that are within. And I really believe by bolstering our self-esteem, by getting to the core of who we are and changing it from a negative to a positive, we can find those answers, and we can trust ourselves, we can trust our abilities, and we can believe in ourselves, and we can believe in our abilities. I, as early or short as 5 years ago, when I was asking myself those questions, I just really didn't think a life like this, where I'm living my dream, I'm finishing my psychology degree, I'm raising my kids on my own, I'm playing hockey, I'm living my dream. I didn't think that was possible until I really sat with myself and thought, okay, Amy, it's negative in there, you got to get in there and you got to make it positive. And once I made that decision, I changed my attitude, and the rest follows, and I'm here today.
Awesome. And let's make some noise for Amy. Yay, Amy.
I know, because in your worst times, you're sitting there in like your darkest hours, and you're just thinking to yourself, like, is it going to get better? Is this all that there is?
Yeah.
And you hang on to hope, and you're willing to try anything to just change and to grasp at something that will just one day at a time, not jumping over mountains, but just small progressive steps that will bring you towards the positivity, the happiness, the contentment that you're seeking.
Sure. Realistic goals.
Yes.
Yeah. Not to set yourself up for frustration or failure.
Exactly.
But something that is measurable and something you can handle.
Absolutely.
You know, Amy, when people make a shift of mentality, sometimes that comes with some adversity. It comes from opposition because we learn self-esteem from our environment, right? So if the environment is negative and all of a sudden you're Miss Mary Sunshine and positive,
yeah, people are going,
what's her problem?
Yeah, exactly.
You get that kind of vibe. So how do you deal with that? The opposition that comes from changing.
So that, again, comes back to your self-esteem. It comes back to your boundaries. It comes back to, I'm okay with who I am. People's reactions, I'm not responsible for them. Okay. I'm not responsible for people's reactions. And so, yeah, unfortunately, you do get met with people that are adverse to seeing you change and seeing you transform. But at the end of the day, I have to be me. I'm accountable to me. And that's how I want to live my life. And if I am secure enough in my self-esteem and I believe in myself, then I get to be me, you get to be you. And I'm not better, you're not better, we're just different. And that's okay.
Okay. You get to own what you have, and they own whatever they've got going on.
And as my mom would say, and that's just the holy all about it.
Awesome. So can you tell me who comes to you to be coached?
Absolutely. So I see people from all walks of life, different professions. I've worked with people who have different mental health statuses, people who are really looking to bolster their self-esteem, people who are really looking to struggling sometimes with, sometimes I feel content, but it doesn't last. And the big thing with that is you can't put your bandwagon onto someone else's. You got to pull your own. Right. And part of that is putting the focus on yourself and nurturing yourself, loving yourself. Because too often we'll look to other people and other things and external sources for happiness. But we have the answers within us. We have contentment within us. But we have to trust ourselves. We have to embrace ourselves to bring that out.
Okay. Can you share with us a teachable coaching moment?
Absolutely. I was working with a woman recently, and when you see someone have a breakthrough, it's them realizing, oh my gosh, the way that I've been doing things hasn't been working. Mm-hmm. And the vulnerability to get real with yourself and go, yeah, that's not working. That's a character flaw of mine. It's a deficit, but it doesn't define me. It doesn't rule me. And I can change that. Sure. And this woman I was working with, she didn't realize a lot of her, she's a very independent woman, and that's awesome. But sometimes we can be so independent, it just pushes people away. You want to find that balance of interdependency, so you're not codependent and leaning on someone I can't do anything unless someone's there to help me. Right. And you don't want to be too independent that I don't need anyone, I don't need no one, I'm fine on my own, just leave me alone. Find that balance. And she did. And she was able to see, because I was so independent, I wasn't allowing people to come in and intimacy to develop. And since then, the relationship she's having with people and she's connecting with people, it's amazing.
Okay. Yeah. So she's come from a lot of growth because of your coaching.
Yes, yes.
So how can people connect with you, Amy, to get some coaching advice? Do you have workshops or seminars that come up?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm doing a workshop next week on my birthday with my daughter. And
happy birthday in advance.
Yes, happy birthday to Wendy. And we are doing a Truth Talks. And if you find me on Facebook at Coach Amy Stockwell, Wendy, my daughter, and I, she's 9, we're starting these Truth Talks, and they're focused on kids, and it's all about self-esteem for kids. Nice. So we've got that happening next Thursday, May 25th. We're from Cobourg, so it's happening in Cobourg, but I've always got ongoing workshops, and the next phase is focusing on connecting parenting. So I do workshops on that. I can come to you. I am portable, but you can find me on Facebook at Coach Amy Stockwell. You can email me, coachamystockwell@hotmail.com. And I focus on, connecting parenting, doing seminars on self-esteem, doing workshops on self-esteem, and that's what I focus on.
Fantastic. Well, we're really so happy that you came to share the good word of what you're doing with coaching, and especially in the area of parenting. I think parenting now has its own challenges, and children too are faced with things that we didn't face growing up.
No.
There's so many more stressors, so it's
Yes.
really important to work with people because we don't have a manual
No.
when we have children. No one gives us a manual on how to raise them.
No,
So
no, and one of the things I always say is you can't give what you don't have.
Right.
So when I didn't have self-esteem, when I didn't have self-love, I couldn't give that fully to my children. By working on myself, I've seen a difference, obviously in myself, but my children too.
They benefit,
and
yeah.
the connection. But yeah, that's exactly it. You know, they're little sponges. They see us, and we're their role models. Children learn by modeling, and you know, at the end of the day, if we're just doing the best that we can with what we've got, and we're striving to do better, it's just small steps, one day at a time.
Fantastic. I love it. Amy Stockwell, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Inspirational. We'll be back. We're back again with another inspirational story. Please welcome the founder of the Bridge Group of Companies, Natasha Bridgmohan, to the show.
Thank you, Nikki. Nice to be here again.
Oh, it's great to have you. It's been the third time now you're back on the
Third
stage?
or fourth time,
Third
you
or
know?
fourth time. Awesome.
I stopped counting because I'm having so much fun.
Oh, it's always a pleasure having you here, and you've got this wealth of information. So we want to learn from you, and tell me a little bit about what you did before coming into owning or co-founding this company.
It's a very simple story. I actually became self-employed at the age of 21. So I really hadn't had that much opportunity working for an employer, but the few opportunities that I did made me realize that the abundance of opportunities I have as a leader to provide community services, financial advice, and mortgage advice, and credit advice, and investment advice to Canadians. So it's been a privilege to be self-employed since I was 21 years old. So that's been my journey from now to 38 years old. I have built a small organization of diversified services, and I've been able to, change people's life day by day. So it's been really exciting.
That's amazing. And who was your inspiration to?
I have many inspirational models that I look up to. My personal inspiration, I would say, would be my grandfather. He is 94 years old, and my mother, and my husband and my children. And then I have a few business associates as well. And then there's also celebrities that you follow in terms of the corporate world and media and so forth. So I read a lot of inspirational spiritual books and so forth. Deepak Chopra, if I may say, is one of my inspirational leaders. So it's pretty fun.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So describe the company then, and its mission statement.
Well, the Bridge Group of Companies, our slogan is very simple. It's home of all of your financial needs. And what do we do? I love my position. I love my job. And it's a very proactive role that I play in my organization. And what I do is I follow the practice of educating individuals who are in need of advice by providing them with the resource and the tools that they need to make the right and correct financial decision for their particular goal, whether there be a first-time home buyer, whether they're in debt and needing help, whether they're a senior and they're struggling in retirement, whatever it may be, or investor that wants to continue to build their net worth. It's very, very fun to be able to enjoy your job. And the way I do that is, again, providing expertise service at a fun but simple, transparent way so an ordinary person can understand how easy it is to get ahead and do the next step.
Okay. And the clients that gravitate to you, what are two of the recurring needs that come up in conversations?
In the mortgage side, one of the recurring needs is the demand for consolidating their debt and increasing their cash flow and moving forward and maybe upgrading their home, doing renovations needed, or investing in future real estate, or pulling out money for children's education, and so forth. So refinancing is a very popular product for our consumers. Another one too that's really, really popular is first-time home buyers, especially with all of the market changes. I'm sure we all watch the news. The federal government changes on April 27th, and then the provincial, the 16 changes that came after. And unfortunately, it's geared towards the first-time home buyers, and it's causing negative impact. Like this millennial generation, they're not going to be able to afford a house. Yes, it is a privilege to own a home, not a right. But unfortunately, it's getting more and more difficult for young Canadians, married or single. It's very difficult. And what we do is engage in those tools and resources that they need to get the proper guidance to fulfill their first-time home buyer dream.
Okay. And in that journey to being a homeowner, sometimes things happen in life, separation, divorce, job loss, and unfortunately we may get into the trap of, debt and leading to bad credit. So how can we recover from bad credit into a position of home ownership? Is it possible?
Absolutely, anything is possible. And thank you for that. That's actually a great question. Life happens, everyone. And, we're not here to judge, especially the Bridge Group of companies. We're here to help. And there is many, many solutions when you're in financial struggle or your credit is bruised or on the verge of being bruised. There is a lot of options available aside from bankruptcy and consumer proposal. Can someone recover from that? Absolutely. And some myth busters, if I may say, it doesn't take 7 years to recover your credit. That's not a fact. That's actually a myth. And bankruptcy is not the only solution. And consumer proposal is not the only solution, especially if you're a homeowner and especially if you have significant equity, or if you're not a homeowner and you have investments and so forth. There's so many other opportunities to get out of debt. Scary statistic, my friends. Over 80% of Canadians are in debt $1.45 for every dollar they make. So it's very, very, very household debt.
That's
so
scary.
it's very scary, and it's climbing. So these are conversations that we engage with our clients to when they come in and they do an application or a mortgage application or a credit application or investment application. We look at their entire financial position. We find out what the cause is, the cure is, and most important, the exit strategy. We just don't offer a Band-Aid fix. There has to be a long-term growth for recovery in terms of credit rehabilitation in this country. And if I may say, my friends, there's only 2 credit companies that report your credit right now, which is Equifax and TransUnion. And if you have not checked your credit, you can do so for free. So please make sure to be proactive in your own financial life, and it can help you save you thousands of dollars in interest on false reporting or incorrect reporting on your bureau. So that's very, very important to apply and acknowledge.
Okay. Is it important to check your credit? Say your credit is fantabulous, but is it important to check in to see if there's identity theft issues?
Yeah, that's actually another great question. So the fastest growing fraud in the world is cyber fraud. And part of that, one type of fraud is identity theft. And it can happen to any one of us. Doesn't matter how secured you are. There's so much hacking happening in bigger organizations and so forth that spend hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in security wear. So there's a lot of things that you can do. And by one of those I mentioned earlier, the latter is proactively checking your credit score. And it's free and it doesn't affect your credit score if you personally check your score. And second of all, there's a lot of insurance organizations that you can buy credit protection insurance. And they will fight for you up to $1 million. They will fix your credit and so forth for, I think about, don't quote me, but I think it's about $9 a month to $20 a month. So these are things that are definitely worth...
It's affordable for peace of mind,
it's
right?
affordable, and it's also good for security if you think about the risk and the repercussions. Imagine if you have good credit all your life and one day you want to go buy a home or a vehicle and you signed everything and you're ready to go, and all of a sudden you get a call you're declined because you have a judgment or a collection or a mortgage that wasn't even yours. So sometimes prevention is the best cure. So that's definitely something that you can do.
Excellent, excellent. And so what's next for you? You've got a lot of things on the go.
Oh boy, I'm always, first of all, some of your speakers said some amazing things about leadership. And one thing that as a leader, that I apply in my day-to-day office with my team, and I don't call my staff employees, I call them team members. We all work together. And one of my type of leaderships is I lead from behind, not the front. So I push and I engage and work towards my staff. So one of the things, I said I wasn't going to say staff, right? So with my team members is some of the 3 major projects I'm working on is to convert the company into a more branding in terms of where my team members can. We're so busy, and the volume coming in, it's ridiculous, and it's hard for me to service so much of the consumer demand right now with my sales team. So one of my major projects is to take advantage of my wonderful team members and give them the opportunity to be part of the face of the organization now and reward them successfully. Another project that I'm working on right now is a senior home pension plan program for seniors who can no longer afford keeping their home on that street that they lived on for 40, 50 years, and they're forced to downsize and sell. So we want to prevent that. We want, these seniors to stay in their homes. So we have a home pension plan that we're going to be launching where they don't have to get a mortgage, and they can take money from their home, and they never have to pay a mortgage until they pass away. And the third project that I'm working on is a first-time homebuyer new immigrant program too, with all of the community partners that I'm blessed to be networking with. So it's been great.
Awesome. And you got a little picnic coming up, don't you?
Yes, we have
picnics.
a free picnic, everyone.
Free?
It's on Saturday, June the 17th. Mark your calendar. I'll leave the invitation behind. It's lots of great opportunity, especially for my colleagues here that are professional business for self. Great opportunity to network, and I see a lot of children in the audience. Great, lots of fun, games and food. It'll be a great opportunity to come on out and enjoy and learn a little bit more about the Bridge Group, and also meet other professionals too as well.
Fantastic. Well, I've already sent you my RSVP.
Yes,
so
I'll see
I
you
hope
there.
you're all are you going to come down and
Awesome.
enjoy a day?
Sounds good.
Going to be games for the children and all kinds of great
we have
stuff.
dunk
Music.
tank, snow cone. We have jerk chicken barrel. We got everything.
over.
Soccer, you name it.
You had me at jerk chicken. Yeah. So where can people find you?
You can find me anywhere and everywhere. YouTube, Google, LinkedIn, Facebook, website, toll-free numbers. Google just Natasha Bridgmohan or Natasha B or NB and Team or the Bridge Group of Companies without an E. The Bridge Group of Companies without an E, or toll-free 1-866-553-7467. I'll be happy to assist any one of you in your needs.
Awesome. Natasha, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, we'll be back.